Very special episode of 94 Feet with Coach JT. We broadcasting live from our place event space, Old Sacramento, and Firehouse Alley, man. Again, subscribe to the podcast. Let me know what you think. Appreciate y'all that tap in, subscribe, and leave likes. And also, you know what I'm saying, y'all buying the merch right now. Again, hit the website, 94FeetWithCoachJt.com. We got the wintertime stuff coming out. We got the hoodies. We got the HBCU line out right now. I'm just busy. I'm grinding right now, but also trying to put y'all into some of the fresh gear, something new. And the motto, you know what it is. We stay applying pressure. You already know what it is. So that's what we're on right now. But let me get to this intro. I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to read all of it because we'll get into this conversation with my guest. But
don't jump right into it because I got to say, he's going crazy with the merch, y'all. Like, I was about to just order something real quick on there, and I realized he started talking about the details on how we can do this and do that. I said, ooh. Yeah. Get with JT immediately. So after this, bro, we got to do these transactions because you're doing it right.
We're going to tap in. Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Yeah, so, do my man do justice. He's originally from the Bay Area, however, but Sacramento has been his home for quite some time now. And before I get into the written part of the introduction, we met years ago doing things that I believe we both found our passion to do with serving others and helping children.
Absolutely.
And since I've known him, the kids have been engaging. They've interacted. He's always one of the one staff members, whoever the kids speak highly of. It's been that way. So that was something that was coming out of it, but also just the grind and, again, the passion to serve others. He's just been there. When you know, and I've seen that. And that's kind of has made us become closer together and cross paths in many shape, forms, facets going forward.
Absolutely.
Also, man, he given this guy, given talents, he's manifests his ability, passion for social impact and entrepreneurship. His educational goals, his challenges sometimes in life. He wrote a book, LifeWork, a self-development book that provides an opportunity to reflect, grow, and flourish in your own personal and professional lives as well. It has challenges and video messages. He's a husband. He's a faith and mentor, as we all know, from a small scale to a large scale. He's also the CEO of Project Optimism, Inc., executive member of the GTB Investments. But also, he's just like, if you guys know him, he's busy. He's active. We got to link up in the Elevate Youth Conference. Yeah. He was emceeing the conference. Over 900 youth there physically as well, but also he's a person who's passionate about what he does. He loves his cities and where he's from, but he also loves his people. I know him as Armoni. They throw the O's up everywhere we go. But man, Mr. Easley, appreciate you taking your time. Tap in with me, man. It's been a minute.
So he did a beautiful introduction, and what's so cool about him, he's very humble about it. He needs to know that I've been knowing of him before he knew of me. And I'm going to take you back to Thomas Middle School. And I've talked to him offline, talking about how dope he was with being able to light that school up. And what I remember is you doing an awesome fashion show with your friends, unique and quality relationships with the Sacramento Kings and how they showed up for you in those spaces. And you just always been a rock star, bro. So the fact that, like, I remember you from back then, and then we crossed paths officially where we both knew of each other at the temporary foster care at the children receiving home. I already had a lot of love for you, and my little sister actually was at that school at the time, and everybody loved you, and so it was already a connection even before you even knew who I was. So I just wanted to make sure you got flowers.
Appreciate it, man,
because you the real deal.
Love, bro. You already know it. As you know, some people, I mean, it just. Relationships is something that I can tell we both value from the start, right? Especially as we know them as young men early on, because now we still on the good side of everything, but we got the best of both worlds. But it's just the communication between, especially black men to black men or to you. It's something I can tell. Again, the kids are poor. You know, if you pop and kids want to rock with you, all the kids want to go. I want to go where he going. I want to go. Coach JT going. I want to go where our money going. It must mean something. But also it comes from a passion of giving of yourself, right? And actually, man, I was reading some of the bio, I think, before. I don't know if it was for your book or something else. And on this, I always like talk losses too early. But, bro, to start yours off, which I didn't know, you took a loss early on in life before you even was there.
Dang, you was reading. Yeah.
And, I mean, I like to do my homework too. But also, for me, it's just reality. But also, I could imagine how that shaped you before you even knew he was coming into the world.
For sure.
The loss of your father prior to you even being born, correct? When... Man, and sometimes I don't really get into it this quick like that, but at what age, what part did you actually get that information told to you where you could actually have to like kind of feel that, like, oh wow, I missed that. I missed that dude. I didn't get a chance to see that dude.
So what's powerful about that, and I appreciate you, because in my early speaking days and workshop days and facilitating days, I would say before I was born, I was destined to fail. And the reason why I said that is because I wanted shock value. I wanted them to be like, oh, I might be off task or yelling or playing with whoever. And he said, what? Why did he say that? You know? And the reason why I wanted that shock value is because I wanted them to hear, like, before I had a chance at life, my dad was murdered a month before I was born. My superhero, my mom, who's the amazing person, she has an amazing story as well. She had to do some things that put us in a situation where me and my brother had to be in like the foster care system for 2 seconds for her to get her things together and champion champion her story to get us back, you know?
Right.
And in a lot of ways that might like put things in perspective where it's like, dang, like this goes for a lot of our scholars, where it's like, dang, when you're growing up and you're developing, you're trying to be the best version of you, you gotta see it. You gotta have the opportunity. You gotta have the support and all the things. And I definitely believe I've had all of that, right? But I understand that I come from an incomplete family, you know? And with that, I kind of take my dad with me with everything that I'm doing, you know? Because I do believe that if he had mentors like us, if he had a Project Optimism, if he had the coaching and the things that you're doing, and he had different areas of showing those talents just in positive settings, he would be doing the same things I'm doing today. And so one of the things I say every single time I get a chance is I'm his second chance at life. Because the skills that they say I look just like him, which I love, right? Like getting to know him through other people. But they say like the way you act, the way you connect with people, the way you put people on, when you touch something and turn to gold, that was what he had. They said he had the Midas touch just in the streets, quote unquote, right? And so I don't take that for granted. If anything, it makes me go even harder because it's like my way of getting to know him through my actions, right? And through the way I'm moving. And so with that, I appreciate you starting that off that way, because I feel like people need to know, like, we could talk about accolades, but how can we truly connect? And that's talking about what
and that's relatable too, right? I'm sure I know those listeners of viewers, they're gonna be like, me too. Or also, I did not know that's even more commonalities. I might have a conversation with him. I may want to see how you deal with that. But also, in this instance, I got to bring this up too. In our culture of Black society, we may say look like your dad sometimes not always the best thing. We act like that.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I've heard you just. I'm like, man, I didn't. Sometimes I don't go the right way, but it's definitely a blessing to hear it. Yeah, that's me. He's in me, which is dope, man.
Yeah,
and
that's a real statement that you just said right there, because it is some generational things that not just him, but his dad and so on and so forth that we're currently having to fight through to break it for who's coming next. And so you speaking some real stuff right now already. We need that.
I think it's just relatability, man. We've been in. It's even more similarities than we even known before, right?
No, so absolutely.
Like, damn, okay. I've heard that. You've heard that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's kids we deal with like, okay, but now let's how you use that, or how you flip that to still, you know what I mean? Make that into something that you want him to be.
Yes.
Through you, through your actions. That's definitely dope. Growing up in the Bay though, man, at an early age like that, man, with mom's holding it down, what was that process like for you and bro?
Yeah, no, I would say, dang, you're allowing for me to reflect on the last few weeks that I've been in spaces having real conversations.
Okay.
And I think one of the first things that come to mind is that like success guilt, that survivor's guilt that comes with the fact that like, yes, we're thriving, right? But it's a lot of people that I truly feel like if they got the opportunity or they got the breaks that I had, and I do call myself square, but I still was in situations where I'm like, dang, my life could have been totally
You gotta
different.
make 1-2 decisions?
No, absolutely. But I just remember those big homies and cousins and brothers that would tell me, nah, that ain't for you. You stay in the house, or you don't do this, you don't do that. And I'm like, I want to go with you, right?
Didn't see it then, but
and the fact that like they had that mindset of like, nah, you're gonna do something better does mean a lot to me. And I carry that with me on my social responsibility of the work that we do, right? But the other part of it, now that I am the age I am, and I'm grinding the way I am in this purpose, I'm like, dang, I wish I had the capacity and the thoughts to say it right back to them.
Bring them with you, like, let's not both do it.
Yeah, it's nothing different between me and you. Come with me, And so that does hit me, and it makes me go harder for young people and go harder for my peers and go harder for people that are trying or needing to see something different. And so I would say, coming from the Bay Area, and what I like about my journey is, I like to just say at this point, I'm from Northern California, because I've been in Sacramento. I moved to Sacramento in high school, and so I have a lot of good connections and memories.
It's a crucial point in a young man's life.
Yeah, for sure. But my balance is perfect because I'm able to see both perspectives, right? And I would say for me moving to Sacramento, it was really good for me because not that I needed to have a new identity because of who my dad was, but basically out here I could just be Armani and not have the cousins that's affiliated and all the different things, right? And so I didn't go on my way to meet the guys that was in the streets. I'm like, I know enough of them back home, back in the Bay Area. And it worked to my favor, but also like they don't know me. You know what I'm saying? So things can happen real swift, if you will. And so I would say it's been a blessing to live in both areas, but I will say that survivor's remorse has been something that's been coming up a lot for me lately.
Okay. And moving that, getting to Sacramento, right? Different dynamics.
Yeah, for sure.
But also sort of could be a breath of fresh air. Like, I can, like you just said, I can relax and breathe.
Yeah.
What was kind of on you? How you say movie? So people may call it square, but also like creating your own lane with that. Were you immediately comfortable in being that, or was it like actually like a weight off your shoulder? Like, I don't got to be involved in certain things. I can kind of just. How was that process actually getting out here?
Without the language, because I have the language now, but without the language, I realized that like being me was the best thing I could ever do for whatever I decide to do, right? And so in a lot of ways, like that's what got me in the door. I'm talking about from like getting good grades, being a good person, working hard. Might deserve a C or a B, but I would get an A because of the way I'm showing up, the relationship I built with the teacher, the fact that I took interest in their classroom and so on and so forth. So like from there to the homecoming king, the very next year, like I moved. We started at Monterey Trails. Monterey Trails is a new school, and I'm showing how old I am, y'all. So whatever, 07 on mine, 007 bond, James Bond. But 07, right? This is when I graduated high school. But when Monterey Trails opened, it was like 9th and 10th grade, and then it opened itself up into a full graduating class. But like one of those testimonials of like, dang, you are a light. You are somebody that people gravitate to. You have that charisma, all those things. I seen it early because 10th grade year, I know nobody. Just moved to Sacramento, right? And then the 11th grade year, I got homecoming king.
Yeah, you made big strides.
You know what I'm saying?
At a public school, a lot of kids.
So for me, like, I didn't have the language early, but I realized I had something that was good.
Yeah,
it brought people together. I connected dots. I was good with ideation and connecting ideas and making things happen. And so I would say like that's the things that kind of came up when you said that.
That's what's up, man. And making a transition, coming out here.
Yeah.
During that phase, as we know, like teenage boy's life, right? The people you hang around is important, or who you kind of want to be like. Was there anybody that you maybe want to shift your focus, like, or navigate that space? Like, okay, I want to stick to this realm. This is my new lane. But I'm looking at people. Okay, that's how you moving. He or she, whatever it is. I want to move like that because that's what I want to be. That's gonna keep me safe. That's gonna keep me productive. Anybody kind of was like in that area, or you looked at?
I would say not growing up. No.
Okay.
I would say go back to the idea of some people learn from people modeling what it looks like in front of them, right? And I feel like I kind of learned a lot of times the opposite. I seen that road already. I seen that story already. I'm gonna go the other way.
Facts.
And so I think I learned from people's mistakes more than I learned from them. If that makes sense.
Yep, that's perfectly okay.
Yeah,
that visual up front, like I know this is what I shouldn't be doing.
Yeah,
I've seen somebody get tagged on that,
and I've seen spurts of greatness, right, but not consistently.
Right.
You know, I don't think I start seeing and studying people's playbook or their moves until I got older. So I started realizing what I was looking at. You know,
what about being that person people can talk to? People like to communicate with. What about that made you feel? It's a good feeling, but also when people can some type of attachment to you, but it's like you said, it's purposeful.
Yeah.
Back then we probably wouldn't have called it that, right? But you're like, oh, I'm popular.
Yeah.
What about that made you kind of feel like, okay, this is me. I'm comfortable in this space in my skin.
Well, it was just it's an honor when people do that, right? It's an honor when people are willing to want to open up and want to tell you things that they might not want to tell anybody else. So I think the honor comes with it. I think I always talk about being able to co-create, right? Like I might not be able to know where you come from, how you show up, or if it's somebody that don't look like us at all. I don't know your culture. I don't know how your upbringing is, but getting to know you, asking intuitive questions and really, really like tapping in. Now I have a new frame of reference. I got an added worldview because I got to know somebody that I can never walk shoes, but I got to know them through them. Right. And so I think that honor and that ability to learn through people's experiences always been something I've been attracted to, bro. I've always wanted to start conversations. I always wanted to build community. Always wanted to ask the dope question that open people up. That stuff like gives me life, and that kind of connects to life work. I want to put
Go
it up
ahead.
here, but I don't
You
want
can
it too
talk about
far.
it right now.
No.
We on it though.
It's all good. I did come here bearing gifts. I wanted to make sure you had the book, and then also we've been doing these exposure tours for Project Optimism, and so these are eco-friendly type of things that we're able to do through a SMUD grant. So shout out to SMUD for blessing us.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Smud, man.
Yeah.
And we'll get back to some other
Yeah.
things too. But I mean, we brought it up here, but
Yeah.
let's talk about Project Optimism,
Yeah.
man. So we go get there. But
Yeah.
at what point? Because I mean, you've served youth community for years prior
Yeah.
to doing this. But again, at what point do you say or feel like I need to take this next step? I'm going to jump because it is a scary thing.
Yes.
It is a scary. It's costly. It's scary. It's risky.
Yeah.
You're young. You're young in it. You're doing. Everybody may not be. Yes, let's do this together. I got your back. At what point do you, or when did you feel like I want to do this? What was a deciding factor? Like, hey, okay, I need to make a move. This might what it be.
Yeah. So two things. You got me excited about this question because there's two parts to it.
Yep.
The first part is it might look like a jump to other people because they didn't know all the work that we put in to get to this point, right? I always say unseen hours, right? And then also like between the professional 14 years of doing this work to like the fact that my life work, as in I've been around for 34 years, have prepared me to get to this point.
You lived it
in every single part of it, right? And so that part that sticks out. The more tangible things I would like to say too is I work for two different nonprofits and a school district that allow for me to really, really see what Project Optimism is going to be. And I'm big on community. I'm big on like, hey, if my goal only take me to do it, it ain't big enough. So I know I need to be in partnership. So shout out to my brother Ishmael Pruitt. I always say he the coldest to ever do it. I knew that I wanted to have a partner in this work, and it was for me and him both. We had people that we were supposed to do this work together with, but it just seemed like it wasn't meant to be for a reason. And then full circle, we see why we were supposed to be doing this together, right? And so I would just want to say, with anything that you're trying to do, find out who's already doing it. Try to see if you could work in those spaces. Soak up all the game. Add as much value as possible on their dime. Go to conferences on their dime. Connect with those people on those dimes in those different spaces. Because when I took that leap of faith, the reason why it was so easy for me is because it was definitely a blessing from God, and also I've been doing so much work that led up to it.
Yeah, like you said, to master something, they say it takes 10,000 hours. Well, how many years equals hours, right? It wasn't new to you. You've been doing it. And we don't do it and keep track. We just do it. You just been doing it, and that's why it comes that way.
And it was a gradual process. Like I was working full time doing Project Optimism on the weekends, doing it at late night. Like I had to build up that third shift, that fifth shift that kind of came because at the end of the day, like I know in my brain, I'm at my best learning and grinding in the morning. As an entrepreneur, I had to make sure I grinded after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 7 o'clock. You had to get it done. And I think what makes it easier for people like us is we think about the purpose of it. When I could think about some of the stories, if it's a success story or if it's something that was a challenging story where I'm like, dang, we didn't do enough for this particular, not trying to internalize it, but knowing like it's a lot more work to do, gave me life to be like, nah, we got to get to it because it's people counting on us.
Bro, it's of course everything starts. The minimum starts with the big numbers.
Yeah.
But gradually through your progression with this, the numbers have gotten crazy.
Yeah.
The movement has gone California-wide, statewide with it. To where but you can see the impact of the consistency though, right?
Yeah.
Even though you may be in SoCal, maybe somewhere else though, the definition or example, like say your vision is streamlined across that. It's not separate because we're in Sacramento or SoCal, whatever it is though. But for you initially, man, how difficult was it though to go and actually all the way official with it? Because I mean, you've been doing the work, but now to make it to the part where you can get SMUD, you can get that because we gotta be legit.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You're right. Was it super stressful on you, man? Was it some nights where you're like, oh, I'm, or you knew like this is like the candle sitting over in the room. I just burn it out till I got it done.
Yeah, I would say the first thing is yes, absolutely stressful in different ways, right? But I can reflect on most of that quote unquote stress, and I think in my head like I pray for this. I pray for these blessings.
For, right?
Like this is what this is, but also like I'm saying, even the challenge is a blessing. Like you know what I'm saying? Even what
lesson.
Yes, let's go. I see you.
It's a lesson.
It is. And so for me, like, yes, let me honor the fact that this don't feel good. This is hard. How we gonna figure this out? How we gonna do this? But I pray for this, bro. This is what me and my bro pray for. And I would say, like, in a lot of ways, I take pride in being a learn by doer, but that takes with having a lot of faith and doubling down on your faith. And so the reason why I think I come to you with so much optimism and so much like a surety is because I've seen it time and time again that God come through, bro. It just seems like it just always flow how it needs to flow. And so now I'm having fun with it, bro. Like my social responsibility and the part that I'm having fun with entrepreneurship is I see that table over there. Before it's all said and done and I live this dash and now it's time for me to go to the other side, I want to say I don't have no regrets. I'll take everything off that table as much as possible because I know what it's going to do for the people that come after me, right?
That's what's up.
And so I swear, yes, it's challenges, right? But I do think those challenges made us. Like we got so many no's on grants, bro. Like this is another gem that I would love for people to hear that's doing this work, that's going after grants and doing community work. Build relationships. Because one of the things that we notice is like, yes, we put in these grant applications, but they don't know they don't know who the heck we are. So what we did, and I think this is good for people that's in college too, is we would fail the test, aka we wouldn't get the grant. We would reach out, hey, we want to just talk to somebody to see how we can get better with our application. But what we do know is when they get to know us, it's on. Because of who we are and how we show up.
How you move, how you represent yourself,
Yep.
how you effectively communicate.
Yep.
Shout out Dwight Taylor.
Yeah, my
VT.
dog. My dog.
He came to the school the other day, killed the class. The kids was loving it. And I mean, it's those cross networks.
Dominate your day.
Man, it's that cross network now we do. Like, oh man, I know that's not my strength. I got somebody to call.
Yeah.
I need somebody to control the room. I got somebody to call. That's highly important. Talk about optimism, right?
Yeah.
How'd you come up with this?
So me and Ishmael came together on two different ideas. And so we found a balance. And I almost feel like when you're in partnership, it's dang near like a marriage. Like you got to compromise. You got like real talk. Like that's what it is. And so he had optimism. I had positive images. And we found a way to like make it interdependent. But I liked optimism. I didn't realize that was even the way I showed up in life from the beginning. Beginning how we started it off, that I had nothing but optimism to be able to be where I'm at, to be able to survive, to be able to thrive eventually, and so on and so forth. And so thank God for my brother for giving me language that was supposed to be a part of me anyway, but that wasn't the name that I chose. I was currently doing some really dope things with this group called Positive Images that I started. And all of the things that I wanted to do with youth development, X, Y, and Z, I was going to put under that hat. And he was eventually going to do the same thing. And then we just came together. So this is what we ended up landing on, which I thank God we did, is we're like, we'll go with Project Optimism, but I'll do the colors. My favorite colors is black and blue. And so the colors of Project Optimism
gotta come together.
But I would say, like I said, positive images. You see those O's across town, across California. I just wanted to be a reminder, and something we always say. I always try to make sure I put it into every space just in case nobody ever heard it. Because we always say the optimistic mindset is looking at any situation in your life as a lesson, a blessing, and an opportunity to grow. We tell young people that's their superhero power. With that mindset, with anything you go through, you can't lose. And so that is something that I do think is important when it comes down to working with youth, because they have to depend on people, right? But one thing that they can control is their mind. What they put in their mind, how they show up for themselves, and the things that like maybe it's not tangible yet, but when you're old enough to develop and to show up for yourself, you put yourself in a mindset that allows for you to win no matter what. The optimistic mindset.
That's what's up. That's definitely dope, because the information behind it is just as important as the word or phrase itself, right? It comes from somewhere. For you right now, right now I know it's already getting good, but let everybody know where they can find, donate, tap in with right now. You know what I'm saying? Get that information out there for sure.
Yeah, so thank you. You type in Project Optimism on all the platforms, it'll pop up. On our website, it's projectoptimism.org. We have the social medias, every social media from the tick to the tickety talk. I say that to be funny. I mean, but the kids be cracking up when I say that. So TikTok, we're mainly on Instagram, have a Facebook. And I mean, if you type us in, we'll pop up. But I would say that our slogan is where opportunity meets change. Where opportunity meets change. And for me, it's a two-sided coin. And one side is the service that we provide, right? That's all super, super awesome. But the flip side of it is like giving people an opportunity to give back. Like, I don't think that everybody's going to start a nonprofit or have time to do that stuff, right? But they can see what we're doing and either volunteer, donate, add some resources, repost and stuff like that. So I do think that everybody has a small responsibility to it. And if everybody does a little, nobody has to do a lot. you clearly know I love quotes.
I got you.
I love quotes,
Yeah,
bro.
for
So,
sure.
but I would say just Project Optimism across the board to pop up.
And I would second to say that people, I mean, it doesn't cost anything to push a button. I understand people get it for their likeness or whatever they do like that. That's their business as well for reposting. But sometimes it's okay. Support your people. Hit the button once or twice. Repost for them, retweet.
Love.
You never know who may tap in with that because that's on your thing, right? And that's all it is, right? You know what I mean? What's if you may got some things coming? Actually, yeah. Let's get into the book though, and we'll talk about that. What's coming next? LifeWork.
LifeWork.
Is this part one?
This is part one.
That means you got something else coming.
Just the beginning. Oh, absolutely.
What was influential or crucial about you actually putting this together? Authentically, like, right? This is written by you. This is you.
Yes.
How'd that come about?
So, brother, this wasn't a part of the plan. I'd sarcastically say Armoni and books don't rhyme for a reason, right? And the reason why is because that wasn't it, right? But when you're walking in purpose and you're doing things, doing great things, it's almost like a video game. I always say it's like you almost open up new levels and you're like, oh shoot, all of this, okay, well then I need to keep on moving forward. And so one thing that stand out the most is I woke up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and it was go time. It was like, okay, it's time, because I've been facilitating like crazy. I've been speaking like crazy. I love asking questions. I love icebreakers. I love team building. So I'm like, oh shoot, like it's time to write these concepts down. So I kid you not, I'm tossing and turning, trying to go back to sleep. Then I wake up and put more concepts. By the time, I don't think I even officially went to sleep that night. And my wife was like asking me, like, are you okay? Like, you good? But it's because it was like almost like a download that I had to get it out, you know? And it was like that, like God saying like, it's time, you know? Did I think it was gonna look like this? Absolutely not. But when you have that to hit you, you got to follow it. You got to follow. Whenever you get a time, I don't care if you're driving, you get you that burst of inspiration and motivation, pull over and get to it. We got million and billion dollar ideas that like we get lost because we didn't write it down. We didn't follow through with it, right? And for me, the other tangible thing I would say about this book is with all the speaking and the engagements I've been able to do, people absolutely adore and love the way I show up with my energy, my passion, the way I'm able to pull great things out of people. But I would get into those spaces, but I didn't leave them with anything. So I know that motivation goes like this, right? And so I'm like, how can I leave them with something? And this book was clear as day that that's what I was gonna be able to do. And so I put my whole personality in that book, from the different prompts to the different challenges. You said it, which I really appreciate you saying that. It's certain pages that have QR codes, and it's videos from me either telling you a story or building out the text. And it's allowing for people to just operate in their purpose and like really identify their journey for what it is. And that's why I say, I don't care if you're 7 years old or 70, this is for you. And so for me, it's like, yes, it's about self-development, self-mastery.
Bro, because I'm closing around thinking, boy, he got pages. I'm be honest, I ain't the avid reader like that. But I'm opening it up, I'm like, oh, this is interactive.
Yes.
For me personally, I know it's an easy read, but it's also interactive activities where I can be like, oh yeah, I can navigate this. I can sit myself down here and navigate this myself.
Once a day, I tell people just once a day. Get it in.
This is dope. I don't know what page 20, affirmations opportunity. I can write my own statements.
Absolutely.
I you give me an example right there, so I can see if I don't know.
Thank you, bro.
Hey, y'all tap in. I mean, this is definitely something for you. Like you said, adults, young children, help them on their journey. But also, it's colorful. It's energetic. It's not like, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, this is something I get into, especially I would say college kids, high school kids.
And I've been able to do these life work experiences for all ages, and I love the responses for every single one of them. And I even love it even more when I can bring all graphics. Let's go. You see it. All different generations of people coming together to be able to build together. So like family settings, bro. I'm about to be doing a family conference soon, doing a life work experience, and so like just seeing it in different spaces and how people light up, and the fact that I always tell people, hey, you're gonna make this book a masterpiece because it's about you. If you don't work it, it doesn't work, you know? And that's something I always, that's stood with me ever since I always got into that bag of like mental health and going to therapy and stuff like that. Like it doesn't work unless you work it. True. And so I'm challenging people with that book where it's like, it could be a book or it could be a masterpiece. It's your choice.
Hey, this is dope, man. Especially in a time where we as people need to get into certain things, either be outlets or be resourceful, or just give us some time away or to reflect
Yeah.
and detach from the stuff we do daily, then get back into our work, right?
Yep.
It ain't easy.
Yep.
It's not easy. I know what you're doing. It's not easy, but also something like this, I can get it on paper, or I can talk to somebody about it. I can write it down and detach it, or look at it, reflect, and be better. Learn, like I said, lessons in it. It's lessons right here. This is definitely dope, man.
And come back to it. Can you imagine somebody getting through the
crazy
book and coming back to it 5 years later, a month later, and looking at their responses?
It's crazy. Yeah.
Oh shoot, I accomplished that goal that I put on here.
You know, clean, bro.
Oh, I got to get back to this because I remember saying this, and I got to, stay to it. So thank you, bro.
How rewarding is it for you to put some other, like, I mean, even though you never do, like you said, you talked about getting up, but now you see it being, you see the action of your people who support, and sometimes some people that we don't even know are your big supporters. But to see this out here 100%. Now, like, and again, so now I'm seeing it. You said part one, the beginning. So to plan on something for the future, how fulfilling is that for you personally?
Well, I'll say really quick about the part one part is because one of the hardest parts was downsizing it to one book.
Because you got
I had 2.5 worth of book content already. I'm like, which one? It was hard trying to figure out which one I'm gonna put in the first one, right?
Facts.
And so that's one part of it. But another part of, like, once again, being small-minded compared to my faith and how God shows up, right? I didn't know a lot of these things was about to happen. I just was following the assignment and knowing that this would help me when I'm out there speaking. It would validate the fact that I can motivate a space and leave them with something. Not knowing these type of things, right? I have a school that wants it in Spanish. They want it in Dari. They want it in... You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't thinking about that at all. That wasn't even like for me, like
that's dope, bro.
That's why it's so fun. And I know crazy. Like even what you're doing and how I asked you about your shirts and stuff like that, bro, the sky's the limit.
And really is like that, right? Like, not just limit ourselves to one area. No, I can tap into, I can reach people. We can reach. That's dope. Congratulations, bro. Because even me, I'm like, I thought about, I'm like, oh, different languages.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. Yeah. It's gonna be everywhere.
Right, for sure.
Everywhere for everybody though.
Yes,
that's the thing though, right? They can translate everything now. But now it's just that's simple. That's definitely dope because different cultures need to tap into that too. It can help them too, which definitely dope. I gotta ask this: how proud is mom? I mean, because she's been around, she's been supportive. She shows up for her kids, but now to see her son making an impact, being successful, but also just giving, man. Your giving is not for everybody. Your time away from your family or your friends, or whatever, to give somebody else, but you create that life-changing moments for those people. And the environment, again, I'm gonna give you props on this. At the summit though, bro, I already knew once I saw you up there, I saw these kids gonna love it. I already know what's coming up. They didn't know. But I was like, I hear some students I brought this, oh man, that dude was, him, JT? He was, I'm like, yep. He's been that way since I met him. He been that way. It's like, man, his energy, I'm like, he been that way, controlling rooms, everybody bounce off of him, but the energy, because it gets the day started like that, man. So that was a great job like that. But yeah, how fulfilling is that for mom to see her?
Well, you seen what I did, right? One of the things that's super, super cool. We were at this Elevate statewide conference. I'm sorry. And I know my mom did something so powerful. She sent me she bought me something that had like some messaging, and I can't remember word for word, but one of the messaging or what it was basically saying is like, hey, like, I'm not gonna always be here to love on you. But this is like a symbolic thing that lets you know that I will always, it was just something. I almost got the word. I wish I had it because it was bars. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna take a picture of it so you see it later. But like, it was one of those moments where I'm like, dang, like I needed that, And we always trying to outgive each other. I mean, that goes from what I do with me and my wife. I had a brother that told me that a long time ago with him and his wife. They try to outgive each other, and so I try to do that same thing with everybody around me. It's like, how can I hit you with a gift in a way where it's like, yeah, I got you, it's on.
And so it all that day.
And so getting back to what I was alluding to with the statewide conference is I had the whole 900 people that was there say, "Mama, we made it." And I told her how much I loved her and the fact that none of this would happen without her. Like, literally none of this.
True.
And that's it. Like, I'm big on quotes. One of my bros always say, like, our goals is connected to other people's goals. And so if we don't do X, Y, and Z, if my mom didn't persevere and do what she needed to do, it's none of this. It's no LifeWork. There's no Project Optimism, as y'all know it today. It's a lot of things that wouldn't have just simply happened because somebody didn't do what they needed to do. And so, my mom is the truth, bro. Like, the freaking truth. I guess I give a lot of love to my dad because I get to romanticize of what he could have been, but my mom is.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. what's in the works right now, right? We're finishing, let's
Yeah.
say, fourth quarter, right? So we're closing. The book is out now. Finish the year. Next year's coming soon. What we got cooking? What's going on?
Yeah, I would try to work between two. So through Project Optimism, it's all about systems right now. Because we're at a point where back in the day it was like, please let us work with your babies, give us opportunity, right? To now, like, we got to turn people down all day, every day of like trying to provide services, and that's because we're big on quality control. We don't want to.
You don't gotta be everywhere. What I like to be, as long as it's efficient though. But if not,
it's gotta be efficient.
Yep.
And so, but with that being said, we're at 14 schools. We're getting close to 400 people, 400 young people that we serve on a weekly basis. You know, and so it like for me, like I'm big on making sure that we have systems that don't that allows for us not to depend on Armoni, depend on Ishmael, depend on Kiari, Janine, and the people, right? That people can plug and play. And I feel like that's true legacy work. It's like, what can we do with systems and policies and setups that allow for this to last past us? And that's a process. And so I think we're on the other side of really building systems that, like, my bro just had his baby boy. He's able to take off some time because we built systems. We have the right people. We have some great staff members, like great staff members. Not good, but great staff members that we've trusted, and they've been on this journey where they feel a part of it because that's what we do. We know how to connect people, right? And so Project Optimism is doing really well. But I think it's really, at the end of the day, it's about those systems. So that's one part of the journey you're at. But when it comes down to EDC, Easley Done Company, LifeWork, and stuff like that, I'm getting phone calls. I'm telling you, bro, going back to that Elevate Youth Conference, it's been maybe like 4 different gigs that have been lined up.
I already know that. Right? I could believe it.
All over California now, right?
I can believe it.
And so I'm trying to give you the words, bro, but it's more of a feeling. It's more of a feeling. And I would say, no, it is. But what I will say is the goal right now is just to make sure that, we undercommit and over deliver, because at the end of the day, I do have a family that I'm building. I have a beautiful wife, Educator. She's super dope. Like, if she was in this room, y'all would forget about me. That's how cold she is, right? Trying to be more intentional with spending time with family. Like, I need to slow down, And so I would say, like, what's up? It's a lot of great things that's up. But what I would say is I don't want to blink and be 20 years from now, 30 years from now, and I don't remember half the stuff because I was too busy worried about the next thing. So it's a lot of stuff. We got an event tonight that I'm going to be being the empowerment facilitator, as I do, and it's going to be dope. But I'm gonna try to be present in that moment, because when I blink, it's going to be the next day. If I'm not careful.
Right. That's what's up, man. Again, it's not an easy task, bro, but keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And shout out to your teammates, man, because you're only as strong as your team.
Absolutely.
It takes a lot of members also.
Bro, that's the biggest thing, man. Teamwork make the dream work. I make the joke sarcastic but dead serious at the same time. I always say I'm like In-N-Out. People that know In-N-Out, there's only 4 things on the menu. So what I'm getting at is, I'm not good at a lot of things, but the things that I'm good at, I'm the best at. You can count on me. But one of the things that I'm good at is connecting the dots, putting people in position to be in their purpose and operate in their greatness. And they do something that I thought could be a 2, and they make it a 10 because they're operating in their purpose. And so me to be able to maximize that person's ability in that position for them to take it to the next level is a real thing.
That's what's up. Yeah, that ain't for everybody. You got to be able to see that. You got to be able to see talent, whatever it is. You got to be able to see skills.
And it's people out there. It's people out there that are super talented. Even if you're super talented, if you're doing everything, I don't know if anything's going to be great because you're not able to focus, And so I just want to just challenge you in that. I could be wrong. I would like to be wrong, but I don't. It's nothing like building with your people. It's nothing like being able to work interdependent and like build community around things. And so I challenge people to think about how they can build a team. And even if it's not an official team, build your village, build your I want to say a word like cohort, but whatever
network,
the word is,
whatever it is.
Your network in a way where it allows for you to be able to work with people.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's what's up, man. All right, end every show in basketball, as you know, right? Dribble, pass, shoot is called a triple threat.
Let's go.
However, I want to get your personal triple threat.
Let's
for
go.
You personally. So give me 3 things to your listeners, people who may see you, don't know you, just 3 things that you personally kind of how you live your life or how you walk in whatever your purpose. Give me 3 things that they know. Okay, those things. That's him. Yes, that's what he stands by. That's what that's him.
So 3 of them.
3 of them.
So the first one, put it places so it could be remembered. Because I feel like at the end of the day, yes, people are gonna forget what you say, but they'll never forget how you made them feel, right? But I still want to have certain messages that people like remember from me, right? And so on this pen that I'm giving you, it says, and I say it all the time, you are the most important project you will ever work on. I truly believe that, like, if you're walking in purpose and you're trying to find purpose and you're trying and you're falling and you're doing all these things, you're going to find what you're looking for, and it's going to be 10 times better if you're diligent and intentional about it. And so this quote is super, super important, because I feel like when you're working on yourself and self-development is like one of your biggest goals, everything else follows. Everything else, like the great things that are happening, is because I've been becoming a better man as I flow and go, right? And so that's one of the biggest things that come to my mind. Another thing is, I was alluding to it already, social capital. Like, people think like money, money, money. Yes, like having money is a resource. It's a tool, absolutely. So you do need capital to be able to do X, Y, and Z. But to not know that you are rich in people and not connected with people, you're one conversation away from something that could change your life, right? And so I'm big on telling people to get out of their comfort zone, because you never know what that conversation might lead into for you or the next person. And so social capital will be something that I'm a super, super advocate about in entrepreneurship, of course. And then my last thing would be, and I'm gonna try to go with something recent. And I always take notes, so I should have grabbed my phone and just told you what I've just been typing in my phone lately. But okay, let me tell you something I did with our staff recently, and I got it from a mentor. Shout out to Tom. He told me that he did something with his staff where he asked them about their cartoon character, right? And basically, that he asked, what cartoon character represents you right now, and what cartoon character represent where you want to be, right? And so he did that with his staff, which is dope. But me being me, I always like to layer up or double up on stuff. And so I did that with a lot of my core staff in Sacramento, and I'll be doing the same thing for our staff in LA eventually. But I heard all their answers, and what I did was I went on Amazon and I got really intentional with buying certain things that they said as a reminder of who you are and where you want to be. And I want that on your desk. I want it somewhere you can see on the day to day, because for one, because we work with youth is relevant, but also I feel like your greatness comes from you channeling your inner child and going after your inner child. That's where all the greatness come from, right? The adult stuff is more of a shell, it feels like, right? So I want people to tap into that inner child to unleash that greatness. And I would say, like, for example, mine's was Bugs Bunny, right? Bugs Bunny, he's a leader. He's cool. He's unfazed. One of the good things I always love about Bugs Bunny, and I say that's kind of like maybe like God working through me or supporting me or whatever, but I would say like somebody like Elmer Fudd or whoever his name is with the gun or something like that. He go in there, he try to shoot him and accidentally shoot himself because like that dude's covered. Bugs Bunny is good, you know? And I just feel like that's the chapter that I'm in where I feel like I can't miss. And the reason why is because of my mindset and my faith and stuff like that. Not that I haven't missed, but I'm not going to look at it like a miss because there's an opportunity in that, right? And then the other part of it was I was trying to Google like somebody wise, like when it's the other characters, like I needed to be a wise person that people come from far lands, and it's like this big old dojo at the top of the mountain where it's snowing, and they just come from for wisdom, you know? And so my goal is what I'm building, what I have now, that I can turn into full-blown wisdom to be able to offer that. So young OG right now, and I'm not going to rush to get to being an OG, but I look forward to those moments to be able to give the game, give the knowledge to the people that's willing to hear it. So
yeah, definitely dope, man. You've been doing it, you've been moving. Again, props to you, me, the family, people. Hey, tap in. Hey, get you a book or two or three. Share the information, share it with it, but also, you know what I'm saying, take your own personal journey, man. But again, shout out to you, man. Is the writing's been on the wall, but now we get to, I guess, put the manuscript together.
Absolutely.
You know, right now we get to actually put it on documentation. You're putting it on paper. You're living in that, which is dope to see. But also, again, for me, it's the energy is there, and I can see how people reflect off that. I see how it bounces off. I already know, they finna kill it. It's contagious. It's infectious, which is good, right? It's good energy we need. It's enough of the other stuff going on that we see in the world, right?
I don't want to end without asking this, because I know they're used to you and I know they love on you, right? But how can they support you currently? Because you're doing a lot of things, but I need them to hear this before this podcast is over.
I appreciate that. Absolutely. For me, man, really, I mean, I guess I'm not, I guess, do these conversations right now. Like, I know we're going to talk offline.
Yeah.
More I can do. I'm going to ask you because you've been in it for a minute. But for me, I mean, it's definitely just subscribe to the podcast.
Let's get it.
Share the link with somebody else. Hit that subscribe button. Visit the website. Even if you don't purchase nothing, go to the website, look at some information, look at this stuff. But you got podcasts, we got events coming up, and that's what we're gonna be able to collab on too. Yes. I can put events up for your stuff on my website. I got events page on there. So I mean, for me, that's a beautiful location. But then Jeff, definitely, and also, yeah, please come down and visit our place event space. If you're in Sacramento or want to come to Sac and have an event, come tap in down here, man. They got outdoor, outside, inside events. They got full kitchen, full bar accessibility. We're in the like I said, the another room over here. So it's just available for you, man. The invitation room, it's opportunities, but just tap in. If you have any questions, you can DM, email me, message me. I'll talk to me. I'll talk back is what they say, man. I appreciate that, dog. But man, again,
the O for optimism. Let's go.
You see it?
Yes, sir.
Not the beginning, not the end.
Let's go.
It's ongoing. So you heard it here first, live again, right here from the invitation room. Mr. Easley.
Yes.
Coach JT.
Let's go.
94 Feet with Coach JT. We out.
Let's get it.
Peace.
Thank you for this, bro. Love.
Love.